Hello folks, I'm back, Francois from Bundu Extracts. Now about 2 months ago I made a prologue video of our Botswana trip, as it is our first time going to Botswana, and I promised in that video that I will make a closure video where we will reflect back on the holiday, our experiences, how did our budgeted expense compared to the actual cost, which I will show at the end of this particular video clip, so you can see how it played off. So let me start off by just doing an overview of Botswana. We entered from Zeerust, and close to Zeerust there are two border crossings. The one is sort of on the highway where most of the big lorries will enter Botswana. It's like 40 kilometers away. We avoided that one. We went further up north, 100 kilometers away, at a different crossing, with the hope that it's going to be much more quiet and we can get quicker through the border. And yes, it played out exactly that way. We were at the counter straight away, we got helped either side, and we were in trouble, just like that. And they didn't search our car. Nothing. The guy just looked at us and he just waved us through. You can go. And well, after the whole holiday with all these crossings and stuff, my wife and I said to each other, you know, I think it's because we've got some grey hair. They probably think, wow, these elderly people, they are law-abiding citizens. Don't give them a hassle. So they didn't really bother. Most places we would just wave through. There were so many foot and mouth disease control areas, because within Botswana you've got like areas, and you get this crossing, this line that you cross, and they stop you. You've got to put your shoes into this disinfectant. Your vehicle will drive through a puddle of disinfected liquids and stuff. Only in one place did they look at our freezer, and they took 6 fresh eggs. That's what they confiscated. But the rest, we went through. No hassles. So people, border crossings are not that difficult. They were pretty easy for us. The next thing was the pulla. I mentioned that in my prologue video. That wasn't an issue either. The only issue is that you're not exactly sure of the exchange rate. So we always relate back to South African rands to determine the price of something, whether it's a good buy or not, whether it's expensive or not, and so forth. So just, you can sort of times it by 1.25 rands to a pulla. We found it a bit higher there than what the internet told us before we left. Okay, so when we entered, Gaborone is close by, and we went there. Now Gaborone is a city like any city in South Africa, really, up to standard. There's water, there's electricity, there are shopping malls like we have. Everything is like the Western world there. It's really a working city. So we found this big mall, and I drew 2,500 pulla at the teller, and I used my Capitec card to do it, because the banking fees was 70 rand per transaction. So you draw enough money that you don't have to frequently draw money, else you just incur unnecessary costs. Now, before going, I did some homework, and I have an Absa card, I have a Capitec card. Absa will charge you 100 rand per cash withdrawal, irrespective of the amount, likewise with Capitec. And if you tap or swipe your card, Absa is going to charge you 2.5% of the value of the transaction. Capital charges you zilch, nothing. So get a Capitec card and use the thing. Much easier. Okay, and the card worked everywhere. No hassle, no nothing. I could put my fuel, buy my food, wherever there was a machine I could use it, and it worked. No hassles. Okay, then we went to a cellular shop and we got a Botswana SIM card. We bought about 15 gigs of data. We got a new cell phone number, and the lady just did everything for me on the spare phone that I had. I walked out there with an operating phone, but we just never used the thing anyway. It was just not necessary to use it, but it's a good backup to have. Okay, because I can't afford to buy or to hire a satellite phone, so no need. So we left Gaborone, traveling up north, and the roads all over Botswana, except, there's only one exception in terms of the roads that we have traveled, which is the Kalahari, the Trans-Kalahari Highway. That is the road in Botswana which is by far in the best condition. Overall excellent. You may find very few potholes, but that's by far the best road. The rest, well, it varies. Some roads are extremely terrible, and you've got to dodge those holes. You really have to come basically to a standstill to negotiate between it. Sometimes off the road, on the road. Now the lucky thing, or the fortunate thing in Namibia, it is a scarcely populated country. Except for the highway between Gaborone and Gadungulu, where there is a border crossing. There you've got a lot of lorries and some traffic. But the rest of Botswana, you can drive like half an hour, you don't see another car. It's very quiet roads. The benefit of that is obviously with these bad roads, you can just go left, right, all over the thing. The problem is if you have an oncoming vehicle, then if there are potholes, you can't just drive all over the road. You've got to either wait for that vehicle to pass, or go off the road, or just take it very slow to get by safely and so forth. So people, a stern warning: do not drive at night in Botswana. Not only for the reason of the condition of the roads, but because of stray animals. You will find animals all over Botswana, along the road, crossing the road. It is goats, it is cattle, it is elephants, it is buck, you name it. Imagine hitting an elephant during the night. You're not going to see that thing in time. And the potholes, people, it's not potholes like this, it's stuff like this, like a foot deep. You smack that hole at 20 kilometers plus, your tire is gone. You're going to break, mechanically you're going to break your vehicle, and you're going to end your holiday right there and then. So if you don't want that to happen to you, don't drive fast. Do not drive at night. Listen to good advice, please. If you've never been there, you don't know what it's like. Okay, so we have now first-hand experience of Botswana. Now, in terms of the terrain, it seems to me, based on our experience, at Zeerust and that border going up north all the way, I think that's probably the only part of Botswana where you may find mountains or hills like that. But the rest of Botswana is as flat as a pin. It's really flat, people. And you can see your own future actually. The benefit of that is that you save on your fuel consumption. All the main roads that we traveled on in our particular route that we followed, they were all tarred roads. It's only when you turn off the main road where you go into like a lodge or campsite or something like that, that you will hit a dirt road. And basically all the dirt roads are sandy roads. So if you're going to turn off, chances are 90+% it's going to be a sandy road, and you may most certainly, at most of the time, you're going to need a 4x4. In many cases, a high clearance one as well. So I simply just wouldn't go to Botswana without a 4x4 vehicle. Else you are really restricted to only places very close to, next to the main highways and stuff. What kind of holiday is that if you're limited in your movement? Okay, the people in Botswana are friendly. Everybody is helpful if you have a problem. You are safe in Botswana. You don't have to look over your shoulder. Really, people, it's one of the outstanding things that we experience there. The scarcely populated country, the friendliness and helpfulness of the people, and how safe you feel in Botswana. Wherever we went, we never ever felt threatened in any way. And things sort of work wherever you go as well. You may not have power at, generally speaking, at campsites you don't have power. If you do get one with power, you're sort of lucky. Like at Senyati we have power and so on, which was very nice. But the water also is at many places a problem. Do make provision for your own water. Do take containers with that you fill up at places where it is usable or drinkable. At places we filled up with water, not to drink, but to like wash our dishes and stuff like that. Okay, so it's helpful to take an extra container of water with. And people, please make sure you have at least one 20-liter container filled with fuel. We had two bad experiences at Baines Baobab, where we nearly ran out of fuel and we were restricted. We sat there one whole day, couldn't go anywhere because we just couldn't afford to drive anywhere. But it was self-inflicted, my own fault. I misjudged places where I thought we would get petrol and there wasn't petrol. Then at another place, Ngoma Island Camp, we did a water crossing, not 20 meters, 10 meter water crossing, a 3-kilometer basic swamp crossing. So, yeah, that's another story. Please watch my videos that will come about the whole journey. It's probably going to be divided up in 5 or 6 or 7 videos because of just the length and the scope of all the footage and stuff like that. That's like hair-raising moments we had there. So Botswana has been good to us. It was a good experience. The highlights were visiting the Victoria Falls, going on the boat at the Chobe River, going into the Chobe National Park, a place called Livingston Camp in the Caprivi Strip in Namibia. It's a really lovely site. Just the area is just so nice. It was really enjoyable there. I did make a big boo-boo there because I had my small camera on time-lapse and I forgot to take it off there, so most of my videos that I took was spoiled due to that, but I will still do some insert there about it. We visited the Livingston Museum there. Then we came back at Nkepi, still in Namibia, a lovely site as well, and then thereafter was this Ngoma terrible experience period of our lives, and but we got out and we are back home safely. I now want to share the bad part of our holiday. People, buckle up. I'm going to say a couple of things. Now I'm going to upset people. But just remember one thing. My feedback now is not wishful thinking. It's not a theory. No imagination. This is our physical, actual experience of Botswana. So it's not an opinion. This is based on fact. Now, before we went, we, as mentioned in the prologue video, we plotted all the highlight areas. Places like Elephant Sands, the Rhino Sanctuary, Senyati, to name 3. And some people load up videos of the fantastic time they had there. And you see the elephants, you see the rhinos, blah blah blah. And the place is advertised or portrayed as this fantastic place. You just have to arrive there and you will have the same experience. Don't be misled. Don't be disappointed. That is not the truth. What am I saying? Am I saying those people were lying in their videos? No, not at all. Not in the least. That was their experience at the time when they were there. You drive into the Kruger National Park. You get out 2, 3, 4 days later. Somebody asks you, so how many lions did you see? None. Pity next door goes. The first time he drives in, he gets this pride of lions, and they take video and photos, and they come back with their amazing stories. Same place, different time, different experience. Nobody's lying. What am I saying to you? I'm warning you that if you look at these things, you may, to a degree that has happened to us, you get this expectation which is created that if you go there, you're going to have the same experience. That is far from the truth. We went to Kama Rhino Sanctuary. We slept there 2 nights. The middle day, we went 3 times out to the pan and drove around it in the bushes everywhere. No rhinos. Late afternoon, we go back again. Here we find 1 rhino lying in the middle of the pan, lying down, and it's just blowing up a lot of dust. Okay. That was the only rhino we saw. We go to Elephant Sands. As a matter of interest, the waterhole at Elephant Sands has been artificially created. So they built all the camping sites on the one side, and then the tent installations and stuff on the other side. You've got a restaurant very close, and the setting is beautiful, it's nice, it's brilliant. Now the elephants will come to this waterhole. You may picture up there at a time that you've got a lot of elephants there. Sharp. You may get there, you will not see 1 elephant. So even the name Elephant Sands, it creates the impression that just arrive here, you're going to see all these elephants. It's not true. Most people, I inquired there, most people, the majority, use Elephant Sands as an overnight station, going up or coming down. Few people will stay 2 nights, and extremely few will stay more than 2 nights. How many? How much is there to see? Why will you stay there long? So if you are there and these elephants, You are lucky. Full stop. Senyati. Senyati we stayed 5 nights. It is a really lovely setting. I'm not going to downplay it. If I ever have to go again, I will definitely stay at Senyati again. We stayed there 5 nights. Good facilities. We had power. We have a nice kitchen, shower, toilet. Everything was good. The sites are good. It's lots of trees and shades. Senyati has 2 water holes. The one is on the northern side, which is not a popular one. It's probably like a natural one. But the main one, which is shown in most videos and stuff, is the one right in front of the restaurant, where you have an underground tunnel, and then you have like a viewing window area where you can sit with your cameras and stuff, and you are then very close to the water hole, and you can take photos and videos of elephants and whatever arrives there. Unfortunately, the water in that water hole is like sewage water. It stinks. In the middle of the water hole, there's like a round cement platform with a hole in the middle. Right in front of the restaurant, there's a big pipe with a tap. So when elephants come, the staff come, they open the tap so that fresh water goes through the pipe and it comes out like an eye there. So if the elephant comes, they do not drink this other stinking water. They don't even spray it on themselves. They go there and they take that water and drink from there and spray themselves. Now remember, we've been there 5 nights. And I go there a couple of times in the day, if we're there all morning or in the evening and so. Now the elephants did come, yeah, but few. And normally at night time you hear them trumpeting and going on there. We heard some hyena and jackal as well. The giraffes, they walk far in the distance at the back, and it seems like there's a different little water hole where they go and drink, and then they go. No other buck ever came to that water hole to drink, because they won't. It's fraught water, man. It stinks. There's some baboons around it. The birds don't even drink there. They are in the veld there catching insects or whatever they were doing. So, and again, it's an artificially created thing. While we were there the second last day, yeah, the workers were busy there. They were digging trenches and putting pipes in. I don't know what they were up to something. Maybe they realized that this main attraction to this place is now, something is going very bad and wrong here, and they are trying to fix the situation. Hopefully, if you ever go there, it has changed, it has improved. That is the bad part of our experience there. Besides that, an excellent place to stay, and I do recommend it, irrespective of the water hole. I do recommend it. It's a good base station. We did our Victoria, a big falls trip from there. They were the cheapest, 600 pull-up a person for a shuttle. You can do your laundry there, you can eat there at the bar, different food, pizzas and burgers and stuff. You can drink there, you can buy wood there, everything. It is really a nice, convenient place. It does have 2 entry-exit roads. The one is definitely for 4x4s only. The other one is more for a normal sedan vehicle. There is also a little sandy patch there, but not too serious. Of course, we used the sandy track, which is a quick entry-exit road as well. So, what am I saying to you? I'm saying, beware that you are not misled by videos and magazines that portrays a place to be like heaven on earth. You must just arrive. This is going to be your experience. Please just get it out of your mind. If you go there with that expectation, you may be disappointed. Okay? So this is not an opinion of me. This is, or was, our factual experience. And there's many more things. That is our factual experience of these places. So in a way, because of the wrong expectation we had, we were slightly disappointed. Not in not seeing the animals. No. That's not the issue. The disappointment has to do with the fact that places are being advertised or presented in a way that makes you believe certain things, which is not necessarily the reality when you go there. That's my point. You can love me, you can hate me, you can badmouth me in comments if you like, but you cannot deny our experience. To us, that is facts, not theory. Not one side of the story, that is both sides. Okay. So I'm going to move now to the actual budget file, and I will show you that. And let me not deter you in any way from going to Botswana. That's not the idea of this. This is a reflection from wanting to go there as a first timer and what our actual experience was. And also on the budget file, cost-wise, what did we plan and what transpired at the end of the day. Okay, people, I leave you at this note, but I do urge you, I will in time to come after this particular video that I will post on YouTube, I will post more videos, a couple of them. It has to be a couple of them because it's just too much footage for one video, in which we will then do it sort of on a section or part by part trip as we went through Botswana. And let me assure you, there are some days which were more than just exciting, and you will just have to watch to see what happened to us, because you won't believe it. I mean, like a 3-kilometer water crossing. How many people have done that in an extra SUV? So yes, we had our fun there at Ngoma, but you will have to hang around and wait for them to come, and then yeah, enjoy watching them. Okay, people, this is the original budget file with some minor changes to it before we actually left and during our trip. This entry here in blue, these are the changes or the actual costs. Now on the original file, we were supposed to have stayed here at a place called Wena Tented Camp here. Okay, and then when we arrived there, it is a rubbish dump. There is just no way that anybody can stay there. I mean, the place was intact. The ceilings were falling out in the toilets, the tented roofs were falling apart. You just cannot stay there. So we decided, let's move on, because it wasn't too far away, and we headed back across the border to Zeerust, and on the way we made a new booking for them. It is the same place that we stayed in just before entering Botswana, so we paid the 750 rands extra for the night. Now the cost of Wena Tented Camp was 900 pulas. Now that's about 1,200 rand.
because it's a tented camp. You would actually stay in the tented camp, but like I said, it's a rubbish dump. Now, just remember one thing. The company through which we do the booking, they do the booking according to your itinerary. So they are not responsible for the condition of the place. I mean, you tell them, I want to stay there, and they do the booking for you according to that. It's not their responsibility, unless if they know up front what the condition is, they probably will advise you then. But okay, it played out good for us. At least we were back in South Africa a day earlier. Well, not a, yeah, a day earlier, you can say. Anyway, so looking at the budgeted kilometers, 6,766. The actual kilometers were 6,578. So I was fairly accurate in my estimation. I was only 188 kilometers out, which we traveled less. I did my calculations based on an estimated value or fuel consumption of 8.5 kilometers to the liter. The actual consumption overall on the whole trip was 9.56. That's more than 10% saving. And also, I estimated at 27 rands per liter. The actual cost was 25.07 rand per liter. And I incurred a total saving of 4,242 rand on the fuel bill. Oh, that was quite nice, eh? Then other things I want to point out, visiting Big Falls, the shared shuttle was 1,464. The Big Fall entry, the $35, was 156 compared to these values. The Sunset Cruise was much cheaper than that for 2 people, which included the park fees. And then we paid for the next day a separate park fee to go into the Chobe Park, which was 642 rand. Okay, and then looking at the border entry into Botswana, remember the multiple entry permit, then you don't have to pay double these costs. It is 652 rand. The cost that I budgeted here was not for a multiple entry, it was for a single entry. But if you double that, this is just a couple of rand cheaper. But it's still worth it. You do it, then your next border crossing is just much quicker. The border fees into Namibia, the costs are the same as the last time we went through this, so that was spot on. And then the SIM card that we bought with the airtime was an additional 170 rand. And then at Senyati, where we stayed over 5 nights, on arrival, the lady said, but listen, you haven't paid your trailer fee. So you pay a trailer fee of 50 pula per day, times 5 is 250 pula. That's 305 rand, which we had to pay extra on arrival. So what I want to point out here is if you make a booking or if you use the agency, which is called Botswana Footprints. Now, I mentioned Sandstone in my prologue video, and yes, Sandstone, they are actually trading as Sandstone, and they are situated in Mahun, not in Gaborone. Okay, just a minor little editing there. So they failed to mention specifically about the trail, and that is why I had to pay this. But anyway, folks, overall, remember I said this excludes my food and drink and other sort of small these daily expenses and so on. And this cost here of 58.65 was the actual total cost of the holiday. Everything included now. Everything. Okay. So we can compare that to the budgeted value of 53, and you can see there's like a 5,000 plus difference, which now is for the cost and for the food, the liquor, the braai wood, and other small things that we bought and did around in the areas. Okay, so that gives you a good value from which you can work. Okay, people, I hope this is to many of you of some value. You can use this as a benchmark or a reference. Just remember the exchange rate between Rand and Pula complicates matters a little bit. It sort of played out at 1 Rand 25 to the Pula sort of at the end of the day, I think, which is slightly higher than what the internet told me before we went there. So I don't know if the Rand weakened or what happened, but just keep it in mind. It's not equal like with the Namibian dollar, which is 1 Rand is 1 Namibian dollar. Okay, I hope this serves you well. People, enjoy planning your own trip. Good day.